Hello, dearest darlings. Did you miss me? Damn, I always feel like a fucking crack whore when I'm recording myself for The Void. I look like a crack whore because you have light coming from the back and light coming from the top, but no light coming from the front. So, anywho, this is the first Void ever we are doing about a TV show. It's not even a review. We're asking ourselves an important question. I know there's thousands of important questions that everybody's wondering about. Everybody's thinking, will Donald Trump cause the Third World War? They are thinking, oh my God, is there going to be this huge refugee crisis in Europe going on? But fuck all of that. Fuck all of that. Fuck all of that. Because there's one thing that really, really, really freaks us out. A question so unbearably tormenting to the heart, the soul, the body, and mind that one can't sleep, one can't rest without thinking about it. Yeah, we're worried about it. We're fucking worried about it.
Oh no.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Movie Void, where we review whatever the fuck we want to review. And today, now, we're not really reviewing anything, we're thinking about something. And the question that's in all of our minds is, has The Walking Dead started to suck? Because if you follow the forums and news on The Walking Dead recently, you notice that we've been getting quite a bit of bad-mouthing the last couple of months. We start getting news reports about low ratings, reports about the show starting to stink or getting boring from all sides. Like, it's practically almost every time a season ends, we're confronted with all these reports. But how right are these people about this? Has The Walking Dead started to suck? Well, that really depends on how you look at it. When The Walking Dead started, the hype was just enormous. It was gigantically huge. Some would actually say that it generated a new zombie revival. Like, the hype went so far that Romero himself, the guy who invented the first zombie movie, Night of the Living Dead, actually felt like somebody had beat him at his own game. He felt like The Walking Dead had shut him out of his own genre that he created. That's how big the hype was.
I wish they would have called me.
I heard they offered you to direct some episodes.
Yes, an episode, but that's once the Bible is written.
Right.
You know, and
you said no?
Not much you could. Yes, I said no, because it's not my thing. And in fact, I thought it was a little too close for comfort.
What made The Walking Dead so great was that the characters were all beautifully constructed. The zombies were terrifying, and its main theme, as it still is today, was survival. And what marked it to be like one of the most ruthless and brutalist shows was its absolute unpredictability. You really never knew who was going to die, and it could happen at any time. Just think of all the main character deaths we've seen in the last 7 seasons. And this is off the top of my head. I don't even know how complete or accurate this list is, but this is like, I just went through the episodes in my head, and this is the list. I think there's even more. So many dead people! Oh! I've shed so many tears for some of them. You know, sometimes I actually wish that Daryl would die and we get Beth or Glenn back. Not that I hate Daryl. I hate the fandom around Daryl. I hate all the fangirls around him. They make Daryl annoying.
That one.
But that's beside the point. The unpredictability and these sudden deaths in The Walking Dead kept going to this very day. So what changed? Well, first of all, even the most unpredictable storylines become predictable at some point. We get used to this unpredictability. We know that somebody can die anytime, and we simply accept it. I mean, how many people truly gave a shit when Sasha died last season? And the death of Abraham, it was so overshadowed by Glenn's death that only a few people gave a rat's ass. We got used to it. We got used to the fact that anybody can disappear at any time, so these moments aren't even that surprising. Another thing to point out is that in the first 2 seasons, the biggest threat for our heroes were the walkers themselves. Just look at how scared they were back then. And at some point, somewhere in season 3 and 4, it just became this one-shot, one-kill situation. Everybody had their gun, everybody knew how to deal with walkers. It went so far that, like, even the old people, like Herschel back then, it was like, one shot, one kill, all the walkers are dead. He was like fucking Schwarzenegger in Commando. And this even became easier. Today, killing a walker is just...
Easy peasy lemon squeeze. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. Easy peasy lemon squeeze.
So, the walkers have hardly been a threat to anyone since season 4. And that makes sense. Characters develop. After a certain time, everyone would be able to deal with walkers because for these characters, they were like an everyday threat. They encountered them all the time. But it still wasn't like they eliminated the threat of the walkers from the entire show. They just used them a bit more carefully. When they bring in a big walker moment, something totally devastating happens. Just remember Laurie's death. Or that scene in season 6 where Carl loses his eye.
Honey, you can do it. Sam, honey, I need you to come with me, Jack. I need you to come with me. I want to. I need you to be strong.
Sorry about the lengthiness of the scene, but oh my fucking god, that is just one of the most gut-wrenching, devastating fucking hell scenes ever. They still wreak havoc when they get involved, but they are not really the big threat anymore in The Walking Dead. Ever since like season 3 when the governor came in, the biggest threat in The Walking Dead weren't really the walkers anymore. They're the people, they're the living. And after Negan got involved in season 7, it wasn't just Rick's group, the living and the dead that were threatening. It was all of a sudden a totally new game. It became somewhat like this gang community drama all of a sudden we have a lot of new towns. We have Alexandria, we have the Saviors, we have Hilltop, we have that lesbian community. No offense there. The Trash Pail Kids. And somewhere you gotta give them credit because they are proving a big point here. They are proving that people are a much bigger threat than the undead. And I mean, it says a lot about humanity. It's ironic that the show that actually started the huge zombie hype all over the world toned down the relevance of zombies itself. So for people who are watching The Walking Dead just because of the walkers, it's understandable that they don't care for the show that much anymore. But I mean, with all the zombie movies still coming out and that came out, no one can really say that you have to rely on The Walking Dead to see a good share of walkers. In fact, the zombie genre has become so immense that it started getting its own subgenres. We now have, beside the classic zombie survival, also the zombie drama, the zombie comedy, the zombie romance, the zombies versus something genre, even the zombie colonial American piece, and so on. You don't really need to watch The Walking Dead to see zombies, or walkers for that matter. Shows evolve. But I'll be honest with you guys. I would be a total fanboy douche and the fucking Void wouldn't have a legitimate voice if I wouldn't admit that The Walking Dead didn't have its totally shitty moments. Even I, who literally, and not figuratively, watched this show since day one, really has to admit that we had days that this show wasn't going anywhere at all. Remember the first half of season 2 when they were on Herschel's farm and weren't doing anything else but arguing and looking for Sophia?
Rick, take a moment. Come look. That's it.
There are so many moments also in season 4 and season 5 where they really spent most of the time hardly doing anything else but walking and wandering around some forest.
A truly staggering amount of actual walking.
Hi.
Speaking of which, generally a lot of people complain that The Walking Dead is a plot cycle that just keeps repeating itself. We have Rick's group finding a safe haven, defending it, and losing it, and then looking for a new safe haven. The reason why we sometimes have these boring moments is because the universe of The Walking Dead is very limited. What I mean is, if you look at other shows, for example, like Game of Thrones, it is such a huge world, and there are so many characters that the possibilities where you can take them are absolutely endless. They can pretty much do anything with anyone at any time. Same with a show like Supernatural, where the writers can just insert new monsters and creatures that Sam and Dean have to overcome. There aren't any limits in these shows.
Back to back to back. That was one for the books.
Yeah.
Man, Dad loved this thing.
Dude, on the don't.
What?
Dean, you're covered in ghoul.
The Walking Dead, on the other hand, is very different, since its main focus is on survival. They can't really pull out new walkers out of their ass or something like that. Or that the characters end up in a different dimension or something like that. Even when Rick's group moves from A to B, it doesn't really seem like a lot has changed. And that seems repetitive. And I don't know, in a way I also think that they want you to feel that. The creators want you to feel with our heroes because they're having a tough time moving from place to place. It's supposed to feel long and frustrating. See, that is where The Walking Dead is different from all the other shows because its main focus is survival. Simply because The Walking Dead happens in a world that has fallen apart because of a zombie virus. The world has pretty much ended long ago, and we're watching the aftermath. This is a dead world. And maybe, instead of criticizing the show because of momentary repetitiveness and some boring moments, we should be happy that the writers have figured out a way of keeping it highly entertaining, even though the show's universe is very, very limited. Something that my friend Carlos here complains about very often is there are many episodes in The Walking Dead where the focus just relies on one single character or a single group of characters. And he's disappointed because he has to wait a week or two to see what happens to the characters he cares about. And this can be frustrating. It's pretty much a hit or miss situation. And don't get me wrong, there are really episodes that focus on one single character that are just totally fucking annoying. Like that Tara episode in season 7 where she meets the lesbians. Why do I keep calling them lesbians?
Look, I hope
They're
everyone
just
is okay.
girls.
I do. Better be.
Or like that double governor episode in season 4. What the fuck were they thinking? Sometimes it felt like they were trying to chase away viewers rather than engage them. You're sitting there just thinking, what the hell is wrong with you? But then again, this concept gives us some of the most beautiful Walking Dead episodes we've ever seen. Like, remember the one when Daryl and Beth were out in the woods together in that cabin drinking moonshine and totally bonding? That was like one of the most beautiful TV moments I've ever seen. Or the one where Rick falls apart because he's just done with everything and Carl has to take care of himself on his own and ends up having to fight these walkers, and in the end he's sitting on this roof just eating pudding, for fuck's sake. It's just one of the greatest character development episodes ever. Or that totally fucked up Easy Street episode. I mean, come on. It's so claustrophobic and spooky. Just thinking about it makes me get old. I understand, definitely. These episodes can be totally frustrating. But I do think the good outweighs the bad here. It is a very genuine, original way of letting your characters develop. But it is a hit and miss situation. Sometimes it works perfectly, and sometimes it couldn't go more wrong.
Cubs are systematically hunted down and dispatched.
People, we forget that writers are also people. They try new things. They want to see if the show works in that direction or if the show works in this direction. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Another thing is that after season 2, The Walking Dead couldn't really hide anymore that it's based on a comic book, because some situations were clearly too over the top and ridiculous.
I'm not gonna kill you. Wait. You know what? Yes, I am.
I like to think that the moment that points out this transition the best is when we see Michonne for the first time with her 2 zombie pets. And then it just keeps getting more extremer. And then when we get like characters like Eugene and Abraham who are just made for a comic book, where like you notice that when they were created there was no real intention of putting them on TV.
You had zero authority.
To what? Stop you from dying?
I had full control of the situation.
You'd had better luck picking up a turd by its clean end.
I'm gonna allow you to apologize for saying that. So how about you do so right now?
Timmy down there almost ate your face, dumbass.
All due respect, screw you.
But then again, that is something that has also developed and changed in The Walking Dead. Because it doesn't take itself as serious as it used to. And I think that's just simply great, because we have gotten so many beautiful, hilarious memes out of The Walking Dead. We have, like, things that you just can't hide, like the way Rick says Carl.
Carl.
Carl! 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 Carl!
Carl.
Carl! Carl! Carl!
Carl. 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 Carl.
It's hysterical. The whole entire stuff and things agenda.
I'm doing stuff, Lori. Thanks.
And I don't know, I really think that The Walking Dead has managed to keep its serious tone going through season 1, but has made it just funny and humorous enough that it doesn't like feel like this whole weight of seriousness is caving in on you. Because season 2, especially in its dull moments, it was really like, oh my god, are they taking themselves this serious? And I think they learned from that. And it's not like they don't listen. Like, people, this is a show that's been like really listening to its crowd a lot. They know what they do wrong and they know what they do right. And it is a show that honestly keeps developing. And I wouldn't really blame it, you know? I didn't like season 2 at all. I almost stopped watching it myself back in season 2. I like to think of TV shows sometimes like people. You love these things. You love people. You love these TV shows. You love them because of their essence. Just like people, TV shows develop. They move forward. They become something new. And things change. Even this show is going to change. Like, we're going to get better equipment one day. I don't know. I'm going to get less trashy with these reviews. Like, everything develops. But if it stays true and real in its core, you stay with it. You stay with these people and you stay with this show. Sometimes you skip 2 or 3 episodes because they're boring the crap out of you, but in the end you come back because you love it. And that's pretty much how I feel about The Walking Dead. Do bad ratings really matter when you're still the highest fucking rated show on TV? So, I wouldn't say, like, if you're bitching about The Walking Dead at the moment, I wouldn't give it up. Let it develop. Maybe it'll go back to the stuff you used to love about it. Or maybe it'll go in another direction. So this was this week's Void. A little shorter, a little snappier than usual. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys will see me when you see me.
See you later, alligator.
Crocodile.
Exactly that.
We're on easy street, and it feels so sweet, 'cause the world is but a treat.